I would say that the market has changed. At least the sentiment has changed from the investors, and it has been quite rapidly and quite aggressively, I would say, because not long ago, probably 9 months ago, there was not such a defined and aggressive attraction to the Spanish real estate or Spanish investment, and that has changed quite rapidly, and now there is definitely a sentiment that the things are going to get better and that prices have adjusted. I would say that that is the key driver of all the investors' sentiment and investors' perception of the Spanish market. Since 2007, prices have just gone down. Rental values have gone from 45s to 25s during these last 7 years. No rental increase, no rental upsides. Therefore, we believe that compared to the rest of the European market, we will talk later on more in detail, but definitely there's been a clear correction and adjustment, and the forecast is that things are going to improve and there's going to be some growth and rental growth forecast. So that's probably the major driver from investors, not only in offices, but almost in all sectors, that the expectations are that we've reached the trough and that the recovery is there.
Raj, I was thinking, as you were saying, somebody said 9 months ago the market changed dramatically from being a no-go area to being an area of interest. And I'm conscious that the audience here is as well informed on Spain as this panel. So I mean, I'd be interested if anybody knows what the catalyst was. What really changed 9 months ago? I'm not quite sure. Was it other markets suddenly became unsustainably expensive, and so people all looked at Spain, or did something happen in Spain? I think it's possibly a combination of both of those things. But leaving aside that, your question is, what do we look at? What do we see attractive about Spain compared to other markets? I mean, there's a couple of markets in Europe, and Spain is one of them, where values are currently at a significant discount to the peak. Now, none of us believe in the peak anymore, right? That's history, and we can't expect to reach the peak again. But nonetheless, we can all envisage quite a strong recovery over the next 5 to 7 years in Spain, which is very hard to predict in some other markets, some more mature markets which have already come back up to much closer to peak levels. And I think that's really what's driving our investors that have a more of a core long-term viewpoint. They're saying this is going to be good long-term value over a 7 to 10 year period. I think the more opportunistic investors and the NPL players and so on, they're just saying there's a fantastic cleanup opportunity in Spain. Spain has been in limbo for sort of 5 years, a state of paralysis, where banks haven't been able to really deal with their problems. And maybe that was the catalyst. Maybe 9 months ago was when Sareb suddenly started to trade stuff, and all of the NPL players said, finally, I've got a counterparty that I can start to work on the cleanup with. So I think at both ends of the spectrum there are attractive things to do in Spain. Now, of course, some people are maybe trying to do those core long-term deals with short-term capital, and we talked a little bit about that in ULI, about whether or not that's a good idea. But leaving aside that, I think there's plenty of opportunities for long-term players and for more short-term, high-risk players participating in that cleanup.